Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Geeks of the Round, where we give you the roundtable discussions on the entertainment you care about. I am your host, Deanna Jackson. This is, of course, our Breaking Bad discussion for episode 504. Let's go ahead and introduce the guests. First off, we have David Cood, who survived 9/11 probably because he was mostly responsible for it. What's up, David?
That is correct. I am a Jew, and we definitely were responsible for that.
Terrorist. All right, also joining us, as always, Matt Moore. What's going on, man?
Not much. I also survived September of 2011.
Yeah, so did I.
Congratulations.
Otherwise, we're not here having this conversation, so that's a good thing.
It's true.
All right, so let's go ahead and just dive right in. We are episode 504 in Breaking Bad, and unbelievably, only 1 year has passed from the pilot episode, 5 seasons in. That's pretty nutty. I don't think I've heard of a show that goes that long. Just that long of a time period. So many shows, and storyline wise, it was just a year. And what?
Yeah, it was actually kind of interesting. I put online on Google Plus about how they kind of put a joke in about that. And they're like, it's only been a year? It seems like it's been longer.
Yeah, that line from
Five,
not to the
fourth
fan.
episode's coming through.
No doubt. Because, yeah, it's been a pretty hectic year. And Walt's 51st birthday, it was kind of eventful.
Well, at first it was uneventful, and then it kind of picked up. Like, it just seemed weird because he really wanted more, and I was hoping that Skyler, I didn't expect Skyler to, but I was really hoping that Skyler would kind of snap out of the funk that she's been in and actually do something. I mean, more than just get Hank and Marie there. I mean, do something. If she had invited all of Walt's friends that she knew of and brought them to the house and then told Walt, hey, I invited all of your friends, and then he gets there and finds that there's only 5 people, I think that would be a slap in Walt's fucking face. And Walt would realize, oh shit, maybe I'm doing something wrong. I think she could have played it better.
You seriously think Walt would have cared?
Yeah, I think so.
I honestly kind of think Walt's so far gone into the meth business, he kind of doesn't, I'm not sure how much impact the rest of the world really has on him unless it's affecting business.
Well, he is a little... He was a little distanced from the situation because he was actually going home expecting a party. He seemed disappointed when he got home. And
that's true, but I'm kind of been internally debating about whether or not he was upset because, hey, no party, this sucks, or he was upset because I told Skyler to do something and she didn't do it.
Well, I mean, technically she did it by the bare minimum. I mean, she ended up putting like a get-together, and she ended up with the chocolate cake, assuming it had chocolate frosting on it. I mean, she did everything that he asked for, but absolutely nothing more than that.
Yeah.
And that's why it was kind of cool when Jesse gave him the watch, because Jesse didn't even know it was his birthday, and when he found out, it's like instantly, boom, here it is. And Jesse was more of a friend to him than all his other friends combined.
Yeah, which is weird. Is like I kind of laughed when he was telling Skyler, was like, the person that bought this watch for me also wanted him dead, but he changed his mind. I'm thinking in my head, but he was right. All the reasons he had for wanting you dead, they were valid reasons. You tricked him into thinking they weren't valid reasons, but they were. You still deserve to die for the shit you did. And if he ever finds out that he was wrong and that you were innocent, he's going to try to kill you again.
Do you think maybe Skylar's going to offer herself in a confession or in her note out Walt?
Well, I think it's interesting to note at the end of the episode when the watch was ticking down. I didn't catch it at first, but you can kind of hear like a gun cocking in the background as the last tick goes in.
Oh.
And, I think we'll see in the next episode. Some people think she had a shot herself, or that she's going to pull a gun on Walt at the beginning of the next episode.
Okay, now, about speculations on minor things like that, why don't we go ahead and review Breaking Bad history here, okay? Let me see. The end of season 3, it was wildly speculated that Jesse didn't really shoot, fuck's his name? The other cook.
Yeah, forget his name.
You all know what I'm talking, huh?
I don't remember either, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Gail.
It was wildly speculated that he didn't shoot him because of some weird camera thing or something like that, and that was completely wrong. Then they speculated, next thing, during the episode, also in season 4, when Mike, Gus, and Jesse were down in Mexico, there was this wild speculation that Mike was trying to shoot Jesse because in 3 frames of the show, it kind of looked like maybe Mike was pointing the gun at Jesse when he was swinging the gun around to protect Jesse, and that was wrong. Wild speculation does nothing on the show. I have this conversation every time it comes up. This is Breaking Bad. It is not lost. When they want you to see something, they show it to you. If there's no trickery, there's no madness, there's no need for speculation. If you need this, if something is important, it is right there in the open. It's just a matter of did you catch it or not.
Now, to go with what Deanna is saying, though, I just reviewed it. I muted myself so I could review the very last seconds of it. And I'm pretty sure that sound wasn't a gun. I believe it was the actual minute hand moving from one spot to another. It's so low that it has to be, at least in my opinion.
Yeah, speculation's not going to go anywhere on that. So I was like, yeah, I don't agree at all. Because every single time they've been trying this random speculation, they've been entirely wrong. And thank you very much, Antonio, in the comments. Gail was the name of the other cook.
Yeah, I said that.
Looking at Antonio.
Oh, I was thinking you were talking about a cook before earlier. Never mind then. I was too busy searching for the sound. But did this episode seem a bit slower than what we're used to?
Yeah, a bit. It's like, I mean, because this episode seemed mostly orientated as like, I mean, for being Walt's birthday, I think this was pretty much Skylar's episode, as we're kind of seeing her descent into this damn near fugue state she's working herself in, because she is so damn scared of Walt. And it's like, I mean, I know Skylar gets a lot of hate, but you really got to feel bad for her. She's in this position that she didn't ask to be in, and there's no one that she can even talk to about it. She's got to handle it all on her own. It's like, I mean, who can she go to talk about this situation, about what's happening?
She absolutely could talk to Hank. She absolutely could turn herself in and go, hey, you know what? For my cooperation, you're going to give me immunity, and Hank's going to be like, you're my sister-in-law, hell yeah.
Well, yeah, but then she's got to worry about any kind of retaliation.
Walt's smart, but I don't think he has the resources to find someone in witness protection.
Yes, he does have a resource that can find someone in witness protection. His name is Mike.
Yeah. But Mike would be, Mike would be in jail, but Mike,
Mike is a little bit too smart. It's like, I mean, Mike actually made me laugh during this episode when Lydia tried to pull a fast one on the gang, and he was like, well, she's dead. This guy's like, okay.
That's what I get for being sexist.
Now. She's like, wait, what the fuck?
It's like, that's what I get for being sexist.
What were you gonna say, Matt?
I just said sucks to be her.
Yeah, it really does. It's like, oh yeah, she tried to pull a fast one, that little tracking thing. But it's like you kind of got. I almost kind of feel bad for her position too, because she is in. I think she's more than figured out. She's in way over her head.
Yeah.
But I mean, pissing off the person that already spared your life once.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how good of an idea that is.
I thought it was a weird stutter step in character for her to 1 second see, like, with the mismatched socks and the very unsure of herself and really obviously very worried, getting a call saying, hey, the DEA is going to be there in 30 seconds, and 30 seconds later she is cool as a fucking cucumber. She's all like, yep, he's right over there, and if you need any help, yeah, have a great day. I mean, really, she went from oh my god to cute, cool as a cucumber like that.
Were we watching the same scene? She didn't look cool as a cucumber to me.
When she was walking, Hank, she was. When she was walking with Hank to go rat out Blondie with the short hair.
Yeah, out of sheer panic. It's like you saw how accurate her movement was. Like she was barely holding it together.
No, I didn't see that. I thought she did. I think she did very well.
Together after she pointed him out, and she was there watching as they arrested him.
Well, that yes, she was kind of. I don't know. I just thought that considering how freaked out she was when they walked into the office, and as she was walking them over, she seemed to be a lot more together. And then again, when Jesse showed up, she seemed to be very much together when she should have been nervous as all fuck. Because she doesn't know who Jesse is. What's that?
Well, I was going to say, when Jesse showed up, she didn't really seem together. She actually seemed pretty paranoid. She's like, who are you?
Well, at first, but the second she vetted him, she was cool again.
I completely disagree there.
I disagree also.
I'll rewatch it, but I was actually watching for that after I saw it with the DEA agents. And once she vetted Jesse, I mean, if she wasn't cool, Jesse would have noticed, hey, she's kind of nervous, and he never mentioned it. She was nervous.
Hey, Antonio, I know you're still watching. Weigh in on this on the comments. I want to know what you think. We need a tiebreaker.
Well, it's not really a tiebreaker. You're 2-1, but I still think that she did rather well considering how nervous she was before.
Possibly. It's like actually, it's like I want to go back and talk about the teaser real fast because I thought it was actually pretty hilarious that at this point Walt is so much not really giving a shit what Skyler thinks. He went back and bought the car for Walt Jr. like he wanted to in the first fucking place when he first bought him a car, and really wasn't interested in anything that Skyler had to say on the subject. I like his car though. It's like that was tight.
I like the SRT actually. I'm a big fan of I'm a big fan of that particular car because I know how fast it goes. It's a sweet ass car. I used to work in a store in Disneyland called Ride Makers. It sells like model cars, so we had to end up researching a few of the cars, and that was one of the cars we ended up having to research. And that car there uses the Viper, the same engine as they use in the Viper.
Interesting.
Yeah, there's also a Dodge Ram that uses that same engine. So it's something like 520 horsepower, where in the Viper it's 600.
Now here's something interesting from the comments. Todd has a theory that Walt Jr. could potentially die in a car crash in this new car that his dad bought for him. What are you guys' thoughts on that? I think that's interesting.
Ooh, I don't know. I don't think so. Personally, though, that's a good theory, but I don't think that that's actually going to work out that way. Just because of the fact that I still have the theory that it's going to be something that Walt Jr. says that's probably going to get Walt busted.
Yeah, I was going to say Matt commented a few weeks ago saying that he thought Walt Jr. was going to be the one to say something that would set off Hank. And we saw today that last night that Walt Jr. was the only one to see Walt wearing the Heisenberg hat.
Yeah.
So I think something like that might come into mention.
Oh, and about our earlier debate, it's official. Matt's crazy. Antonio agrees with you and I, David. And let me see, John Eric, who's actually supposed to be in here. I don't know why he's not in here, but he's supposed to be in here.
You invited him.
Exact quote was, "Matt is crazy. Lydia's a nervous wreck every second she's on screen."
I'm crazy, yay! You know why I'm crazy? It's because of the fact they don't have my fedora today. So I'm wearing this, it almost looks Muslim, but it's what I wore when I worked as in a kitchen.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They do this so your hair doesn't come out. But I had to wear a hat because my hair is always messed up.
Yeah, my hair gets like that too. But actually, it's like before we get more into Skylar's descent into madness and quasi-suicide attempt, Reggie, who's usually on the show, had an interesting theory that I actually think holds some water. I know you're going to disagree here, David, but he had a theory that that Walt could kill Marie.
Oh yeah, he said that, but I just don't see it happen. But tell me why you think that holds water.
Well, I mean, just look at it. It's like, I mean, because here's what we know from the show creator. Oh, there's John. Hold on, let me go ahead and bring him on stage. All right, you're going to have to turn off your mute, John.
Technology. I was expecting a push notification, and it didn't happen. How you guys doing?
Pretty good. Enough for you?
All right, so here, let me go back into it. It's like, I mean, because here's what we know. From the show creator, Vince Gilligan, we know that eventually Walt is going to do something so despicable that it will end all sympathy for his character. That's a direct quote out of his mouth. Now, killing Skylar wouldn't do that because, I mean, let's face it, most of the fans out there, they fucking hate Skylar. If
that's true.
It's like everyone be like, fuck yeah.
Yeah, so, but they don't like Marie either.
Well, yeah, but it's like, I mean, they might not like her, but they don't have the same loathing hatred that they seem to have for
That's true. I mean, sure, I wouldn't see it coming, but I wouldn't see it coming that he kills his own son either.
Well, yeah, well, I'm not saying that. Yeah, it's like I'm not saying that one. That would be going too far. But hear me out here. Okay. Well, I talked earlier about how Skylar, unlike Walter or anyone else, does not have anyone to talk to. So what if she actually did try confiding in Marie? What if she told Marie a little bit about what's going on, and then she put Walt and his entire operation in danger? He would kill Marie as an example of what could happen.
Or Mike would.
Hmm? Oh yeah.
Or he'd have Mike do it.
But it'd be Walt that set everything in motion.
You know, I just thought of this actually. What if it's Jesse? What if Jesse, because Jesse has shown undying loyalty lately, and basically, what if Walt at some point goes, you know what? I can't have this. I can't have someone else knowing my formula, and he just kills Jesse. I mean, that would piss everyone off because, I mean, Jesse's a great character right now.
Mm-hmm.
That would be one way to go. I still think Jesse's going to ultimately be the one that tips, that, you know, turns around and betrays Walt and gets him either caught or killed.
It's possible. It's like, I mean, there are so many balls up in the air that this could go completely any way. And it's like, and we haven't even talked about it. It's like, I mean, Madrigal, we haven't really seen a lot from the higher ups there in a while, you know, except for the confirmation that Lydia is actually with Madrigal in their Houston, Texas office. But it's like, okay, how is the entire, what am I trying to say? Who at the company is in on this? So far, we know of at least two: Lydia and that dude over in Germany that ended up killing himself. So that's at least two. Now, it's like, I mean, Lydia seemed like sort of a lower level person, and that dude just definitely seemed like a much, much higher person up in the home office only in Germany, from all the way up there to down here. You're telling me there's no people in the middle? I'm not buying it.
Well, I think it's going to come into play with who Gustavo was. Something that was mentioned by the cartel guy when he said the only reason I didn't kill you was because of who you are.
I was going to say there's at least a third anyway, and that was the guy who got arrested. She mentioned specifically that he was her guy when it came to getting that.
Oh, yeah, right. You're right. That does make 3. But that's someone even lower on the total poll than she is.
Yeah.
I think it goes all the way up. I don't believe that CEO when he said he wanted to cooperate fully.
You think so?
Same story Gus gave DEA when he was still alive.
Very true. So you think it goes up to the very, very top of Madrigal?
I think it would be hard. Yeah, I think so. Especially because I think if you got a CEO of a multinational company like that, he's got this international drug ring operating out of his business. It's hard for me to believe he doesn't know about it.
I think that it would go higher up. I don't know if it would go all the way up, but Mike straight out tells Lydia, forget, but he straight out tells her that he's going to get her a new guy. Now, of course, he sends Jesse, but that isn't a permanent solution. I think that Mike is actually going to get her someone to replace the guy that was arrested, because that was what the conversation was about, was replacing the guy who was arrested.
Yeah,
yeah. Go on, sorry.
Oh, I've never done Houston to Albuquerque, but I've done a road trip of very similar length before. I would hate to have to do that every 3 weeks or so.
Oh. I'd hate to do that once. I mean, those are very dry and warm areas.
You're not wrong. It's like I wonder. It's like, I mean, do you think that Mike would it's like, I mean, because it doesn't seem like most of his guys seem like they're either dead or in trouble. So it's like, I mean, it'd have to be someone else. We know that one of the characters from the Exterminator Company is actually supposed to be a fairly important character. Could it be him? Could he be pulled into this a little bit and sent to Houston? Because we already know he's important.
Perhaps. But you might have to understand, I don't know this for sure, but it's very possible that those guys have that. I mean, it's a tree, not a limb.
What?
I don't know. It's a tree, not a limb. Limb or tree. Yeah.
Okay, I got you.
I'd love to see the act of them selecting a candidate, courting them, trying to bring somebody who's not in on the criminal portion of their operation and sort of elucidate them gradually, because that's one thing they haven't really done a whole lot of in the show that has got to be going on behind the scenes. That fascinates me. Like, how did Frank find all these people to get in on this distribution chain? And we could get to see that as they build this new operation from the ground up.
I think the cartel ties are where he ended up meeting everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the distribution was his own for the restaurant. Like, I'd like to know who the distribution is now.
Yeah, that's what I meant, David.
Yeah.
Is that the same? It's different people. Or at least I would assume so.
Yeah, I would probably assume so, too. All right, so now it's like, I mean...
Or maybe it's just something they didn't want to explain, so they didn't go into it.
Also fairly likely.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, it was like, well, interesting. It's like, I'm not sure how much time they'd really be able to commit to doing such a thing.
Yeah, you can't show absolutely everything.
Now, obviously, it's like there's 2 scenes we absolutely have to talk about here. We'll start off with the pool scene. It's like when it's like, what do you guys think the Skylar was trying to prove there? It's like, I mean, it's like just to get the kids out of the house, or
yeah,
was it more than that? It's like, I mean, because that was pretty hardcore. It's like, and I got to give huge props to Anna Gunn for how she played that. I mean, just and I know how she feels about water. So just walking into into that pool and just going in there like that with that completely blank and expressionless look on her face. I mean, it's like she did that whole scene without really saying a word.
I think it was purely and totally a power play on her part to get the kids out of there. Because if she actually was trying to hurt herself, she would not have done it in front of the 3 people that love her the most, or 3 out of 4 of the people that love her the most.
Yeah.
I have a question. When she was in the pool and we heard someone go in after her, I thought I saw Walt.
It was Walt.
It was Walt.
Was it Walt? Okay,
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if it was him or Hank.
I had to watch that scene twice because at first I thought it was Hank until I rewatched it.
I was expecting it. I was expecting it to be Hank.
Yeah, so was I. I was honestly expecting Hank more than I was expecting Walt. It
Hank still has a bum leg.
Twice, and watching some of the behind-the-scenes video from that episode for me to fully accept the fact that it was Walt that dived in after her.
Well, Hank still has a bum leg, and Walt's still playing the part of the loving husband.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
But when I was expecting that to be like Hank or Marie, and then like Walt would just be like just standing there,
like he did with
not really caring.
Jane.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah. Then of course the scene after that, that pretty epic scene in the bedroom where they're arguing back and forth and working out, this power play is like, I mean, you kind of saw that desperation in Skylar. She doesn't have a damn clue what the hell she's doing, and Walt is just lording it over her, just berating her with this. It's like, just no, that won't work, you're stupid. No, that won't work, you're stupid. What else?
I was
something.
Yeah.
I listened to the Insider podcast that you had linked to earlier. And then they went over that scene and how during the scene that like Walt was cornering her as they were going back and forth, and then she would escape, and then he would corner her again, and then she would escape, and then he would corner her again until finally the last thing when she brought up the cancer.
Oh, that's exactly how season 4 played out with Walt and Gus. You would corner Walt. Walt would lose but survive.
That's a good point. It's kind of weird to see the two going on the other foot on that. That's actually a very good point.
Yeah.
Now, I also noticed that, was it me, or should Walt have been a little more surprised by what she had to say? I mean, she basically went, I can't keep you out of my house, I can't keep you out of this, I can't keep you out of that, I can't keep you out of my bed. And he didn't even blink when he realized that she wants nothing to do with him. He did not care in the slightest. At least he didn't appear to.
Yeah, that's the way it looked to me too. Like,
He definitely knew. I mean, just from last week from the breakdown, and there's no way that he didn't know that.
Well, yeah, in the house he keeps acting like nothing happened, but he's got to know.
Well, it's like, I think he's playing that role as like, I mean, just I don't know. It's like, I mean, his ego is so out of control. I think he thinks he can just have the best of both worlds. That thing will go back to the way it was, and he doesn't understand that he is not the same person he was a year ago. It's like he doesn't get that.
Yeah.
I think that if he were a decent, even close to a decent human being, he would move out and let her keep the kids.
Oh, well, we know he's not one of those.
A decent human being?
Yeah.
I mean, because what is he gaining by staying there?
I think what bothers me the most about Skylar's character now, especially after last night's episode, is that the whole premise of her not, of her playing along was because she does not want Walt Jr. to think badly of his father. Mm-hmm. She wants to protect him for that. But at the same time, now she's trying to convince herself that she children and she are in imminent danger, and she has to get them out of the house no matter what. Wouldn't that supersede any premise that she has to protect his image to Walt Jr.? That's kind of what is bothering me, is that she's...
That's probably why she feels so...
I think that's the biggest complaint that people seem to be having with her character, that it seems inconsistent with how she's acted previously and now the logic for how she's acting now.
The advantage that most people have in looking at this situation is that they're able to treat it logically. She's not capable of that. I mean, her character isn't. Not in her emotional state, and I don't think they're taking that into account. It's like they want everything to run as it would, like in a absolutely rational universe. The show isn't on the fucking planet Vulcan. It's in New Mexico, okay? It's everything's not going to be logical. All the characters aren't going to do shit that makes sense or what they should do and whatnot. That's I mean, what world works like that?
Well, I think David actually brought up why one of the reasons that she is so desperate right now is because she has two kind of conflicting motivations. Like, she still feels like she needs to protect the family image, and she doesn't want to go down in infamy, especially now because she's so embroiled in the plot. But she also now feels really threatened by her husband. And she doesn't know how to reconcile those two needs. And so she feels completely trapped and has to act out. And I still think it's ambiguous whether she staged a suicide attempt or whether she kind of had a moment where she thought that was the only way out. I don't know. Probably a little of both, actually.
Maybe. It's like, I tend to agree with Matt.
It's really hard to drown yourself just by going into a pool.
Yeah, even harder to do so with three people standing there watching you do it.
I know, but I mean, it's...
Cry for help, yeah.
Remind me, what is her problem with water?
Oh, no, that's just...
I was talking about the actress. Anna doesn't like water.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, I don't remember her actually having any problem with water, but okay. Now, to throw a wild accusation out there, what if she ends up teaming up with Sal to try and take down Walt?
With who?
Saul?
Saul Goodman.
Oh. Because he wants out, too.
Yeah, he wants out, too. She wants out. Like, where she doesn't have really the brains for anything except economics, he kind of does. Now, it's just a wild theory, but it makes sense to me. Because he's got a lover. Not literally, but... Anyone?
That's an interesting theory.
I don't think we've seen anything from Saul yet to suggest that he's desperate enough to try something.
In that particular situation where you tried to get out once and then you got threatened into going back in.
Well, I mean, he
very
basically...
well.
We haven't seen that much of him in general.
Yeah. I mean, what his attempt to get out was say, "Okay, that's it, we're done." I mean, that's not really trying to get out.
Yeah, but he
like said it in passing conversation, and then like Walt put him in his place. But he's not like, I don't think he's in fear of anything right now.
Well, yeah, there's no one currently.
He might be if he's asked to do something else that puts him in danger.
He's terrified of Mike.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you be?
You probably threatened somebody before breakfast today.
Only just one person?
Now, I have a general question for you. Do you think that Walt actually is scared of Mike and he's just fronting like he is? Or no?
His ego is so big. He honestly, it's like when he told Saul that Mike runs the business and he runs Mike, he was fucking serious. That's what he thinks he can do.
That's fucking balls.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah, we've talked time and time on the show about Walt's ego. It's like, and he really is that out there. He has no idea who he's fucking with Mike.
Sorry, guys, I need a second.
Okay. Todd just asked a question on the thing. He's asking, wasn't Skylar cheating before she knew he was a drug dealer? I think she was.
Yeah. She cheated before she knew that he was a drug dealer.
But it was after the event where she found the cell phone. It was after.
Yeah. Her cheating on him with Ted was her getting back at him for forcibly moving himself back into the house. That was her way of getting back at him. Was by cheating on Ted, cheating on Walt rather with Ted. You know what I mean? Damn it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't until after that where she had the idea, I know what you're doing. You're selling marijuana. Close, but it's moderately worse than that.
I was going to say, not really close.
It's a legal substance of some kind, just a lot worse than marijuana is all.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm in California. There's a huge difference here.
All right, let's see. It's like, so going from that is like going into next week's episode. It's so weird. It's like we are already halfway through the first half of this season. We're 4 episodes deep. Where there's only 4 more to go this year before we wrap things up, and then the next part of the season's next year.
Yeah, because it's going to split after 8 episodes, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
You're going to pull a Battlestar Galactica.
So do you think, like, between the next 4 episodes, that's going to be a year's time has passed in those 4 episodes?
Nah,
or do you think the scene that we saw at the very beginning is going to be into part of the second half of the season next year?
I think they'll like flash to it a few more times. You know, kind of like they did with the pool and the bear in what was that, season 3?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like I think they'll flash to it a few times, but I don't really think we'll see much more from 1 year later until 1 year later.
I'm thinking that flash forward is straight from the season finale. I think that some time will pass between the second to the last episode and the final episode.
What are we talking the mid-season finale coming up here, or the series?
No. Like the season second to like the series second to last episode. That there will be time between it and the final episode.
I mean, I can honestly say 4 episodes in, I'm not sure where it's going to go.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, there's so much up in the air right now. It's like, I mean, the business is just starting to get picked up. Lydia might live or die. It kind of depends. I honestly don't know how that's going to go. Mike seems pretty adamant on his desired outcome of the situation. But I think that killing people is pretty much Mike's solution to most problems, which is, I mean, I don't have a problem with that. It's like, I can get behind that. That seems to be a rational way to solve problems to me. I have a problem with this person. This person no longer exists. I no longer have a problem. Sounds good.
And that person will never make trouble for me ever again.
Yeah.
It's not just solution, but it's you're solving a problem before it happens as well.
Mm-hmm. Absolute 100% permanent solution. And it's like, and poor Jesse just kind of tossed in there. It's like no. It's like, actually, I was kind of curious how come Mike didn't explain a little bit why he felt Lydia should go, because from Mike's perspective, he's right. She cost the lives of 2 of his guys. It could have went a lot worse. She feels like she's in trouble, and she lashes out at everyone else in order to make things happen, in order to protect herself. Honestly, she'd be better off for everyone else if she were to no longer be, breathing.
I'm glad I got back in time for you guys talking about this scene, because that was my favorite scene of the episode.
Which one?
where Mike says he should have killed Lydia.
Oh yeah.
Jesse.
I like when he said that's what I get for being sexist.
Oh, that was awesome. But I mean, Jesse's face, Jesse's whole thought process, because you know he's thinking about that moment where he had to pull the trigger on Gale.
Mm-hmm.
Because Lydia is a problem dog.
Oh yeah.
And he feels a great amount of sympathy, which is why I still think he's probably the most redeemable character. He just wants to cook. He doesn't want to kill people.
I consider Mike, who knows the most about the business except for the actual cooking itself, but has all the hookups, etc., the most honorable character of that particular sect. I mean, he is making sure his people get their money. If those people happen to be dead, their family gets the money. I mean, he is taking care of his people, and I find that quite honorable.
Yeah. Like we kind of talked about that. Talked about something last week. It's like we have this interesting dynamic now of Walt, who claims to be doing this for his family, but in reality, that's just a smokescreen because of his ego. And Mike legitimately is doing this for his family, and that are important to him. It's like, I mean, that's why he's doing it. It's the only reason he agreed to it.
Yeah.
Remind me, what $600,000? They said that they lost $600,000. I remember them losing it, but he's not in the negative 600. He doesn't owe that kind of money to people, does he?
Oh no, he doesn't owe it. That's just that money that's gone. That was the money that Skylar had given to Ted.
Okay, so basically some arbitrary number that he happened to have beforehand. That's his goal.
He wants it back.
He spent like one episode in the red, and then he paid Jesse back from the first take, from the first cook.
Yeah.
Which
he was only like 40,000 in.
Yeah, only.
Does anyone even?
That's nothing for the meth heads.
Sorry, does anyone even pretend to think that he's going to stop at 600,000? Yeah, exactly.
Okay, that was weird. That's the second time that's happened. We're just going to move right along.
Hey, there's two of you.
Yeah, I know, right? There we go. I'll solve that.
Would that be two on him?
He goes.
Yeah. Sorry about that interruption, folks. Weird Google Plus Hangout thing. But that's all good because we're probably about to wrap anyway. Any of you guys got anything else you want to bring up on 504 before we go ahead and wrap?
Yeah, I think we've gone over the speculation on that of what we think.
Well, I mean, fingers crossed, Skylar kills herself. That's what I'm hoping for.
Oh.
I was like, I'm really curious. Like, I really can't wait to see it about this thing that Walt's going to do. That's going to make his character completely unredeemable, even for those that have been holding out as seeing him as the protagonist of the series, which
Wasn't that interview that you're talking about? Wasn't that before he poisoned Brock?
Oh no. Ooh.
Recent? Oh
yeah.
Wow. So he's going to do something even worse than that.
Even worse.
God.
Even worse. Like it might have been in the first Insider podcast this season or the second. It was in one of them.
Yeah.
Do you think that this is going to happen before the break?
I think it kind of has to. I think going into the second half of the last season here, it's like it needs to be very, 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 very clear. Walt is the villain of this story. He's the bad guy. It's like, I mean, there can't be any ambiguousness about it whatsoever anymore.
Yeah.
I'm not going forward into the last part of this.
So what if he would have faked Skylar's suicide?
Finale. If I had to make a guess, it would happen during the mid-season finale. Or maybe the penultimate episode of it. I don't know.
He faked Skylar's suicide. kills Skylar and makes it look like suicide.
I wouldn't do it.
You don't think so?
It would have to be something truly, truly terrible. It's like, I don't think that's bad enough. It's like, I mean, considering all the things that Walt has already done, it's like, I mean, come on, dude. That's not even a blip on the radar.
To kill Skylar and make it seem like suicide? That's pretty bad.
It's pretty bad.
And I think he froze again.
The reason he got involved in all this was to keep her safe. But I don't know if it's worse than poisoning Brock.
Could we wrap this up?
Yeah, I think the Google gods are trying to tell us something. We're gonna go ahead and wrap up now. We will see you guys back here next week for our discussion on episode 505. My name is Deanna Jackson. This has been Geeks Around. We will see you next week.